Hey, how you doing? Dr. Dave here, and today we have Ken. By this time, there were 5 blogs, I think, before the 7 that I just did. And what they essentially are about is that you are going to have to be your own healthcare provider. And you understand when I say that is that you are the only one that can provide healthcare to yourself. And I'm not talking about crisis management or emergencies or anything else along those lines. When you read the literature, you're going to find that the people you hang around with, the way you look at life, your attitudes, things along those lines have the greatest amount of influence. The food that you eat, the amount of sleep, how you eliminate, and things along those lines. And that's healthcare, and you're the only one that can provide that to yourself. So in the previous blogs, we talked about essentially paying attention to yourself. How often do you need to come in for a chiropractic adjustment? And it really is just kind of paying attention to yourself and knowing. You look at yourself. How are you doing in life? Are you winning? Are things going your way? If they are, whatever you're doing or not doing is working. So you continue those. That's part of the winning formula. So if that's coming in regularly for chiropractic care, if that's seeing your mom 1 time a week, if that's bringing the boss flowers or an apple, whatever that is, if it's making sure that you're not watching TV after 9 o'clock, this is the winning combination. So today we have Ken with us, and we've been working with him on changing, eating more of a deflammatory diet like we've talked about, getting more sleep, doing things along those lines, lifestyle changes, kind of being more in communication with life and the world around him. And I thought we would have him tell us some of his wins and his victories and how he's doing. So we'll have Ken tell us how he's going.
So I think I started seeing you about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
So, and being the fact that I do marketing and I sit at a desk all the day, my mid-back was always pretty painful. And I had neck issues as well. But one of my biggest challenges was breathing. I sleep more upright at night because anytime I sleep flat, it's hard for me to breathe. But some of the things that we always talked about, you and I, was changing my home environment. So how I sit, how I work. Instead of having a small 13-inch monitor, I now have a 30-plus inch monitor, which allows me to see much easier. And I think that was one step in the right direction.
That was one of the initial things we did, was we changed the workstation and how you were sitting and working. And we had some pretty great...
We did, but I think we plateaued, and then it was, okay, Dr. Dave, what can we do next?
Right.
And I think that one of the biggest things is I have a lot of food allergies, which we've talked about, and it doesn't allow me to eat a lot of, it limits my diet, let's just put it that way, but it limits it in a way that the stuff I really can't eat isn't healthy for me anyway. Right. But I think that we got to this point, and you used an analogy, and I'm going to try to see if I can remember it or not, but my body got to the point of being so inflamed, it was kind of like, here's a 5-gallon bucket. Right. It's like you're at the max, and it's like throwing gasoline on it, and all you're doing is you're not healing. Right. So you recommended the Deflame Diet book.
That's right.
And for about a month, I went on basically an elimination diet, where it was really me just eating meats and veggies only, and some simple starches. And I mean, it was almost like a miraculous change that occurred. So I lost 9 pounds, which I think that was mostly bloat. You noticed that I looked more, I don't know if the word was vibrant. I don't know what word you use.
There's a shine.
Yeah, exactly. But I felt better. I was sleeping better. I was more aware of things that were going around me. I wasn't getting tired throughout the day. Right. And I just felt better. But I think probably one of the coolest things that occurred was 2 weeks ago when you noticed the big change in me. When you were palpating my back before you gave me adjustment, it was the first time that anytime you pushed on my muscles, that they didn't hurt. Right. Like literally, and because there would be times where, you would push down on my mid back and it's not like you're causing pain. They hurt.
Well, that's what people don't realize. Pain is inflammation.
Yeah.
If it hurts, it's inflamed. And like you were talking about with that 5-gallon bucket. So if that 5-gallon bucket is full, anytime you put a couple things in, it pours over. And so your immune system is constantly working to put out those inflammatory things. It's handling the food that you eat.
Mm-hmm.
It's destroying the organs in your body, your joints, everything. This immune system is one of these things that if it can't cure you, it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
And
I think that that's what I've loved so much about your blogs, is because you've kind of taken them to a level of how can I help every individual potentially with things that might be going on in their lives. And I think that we're going through COVID and everything else right now, and I think that you even wrote a blog about COVID stating that a lot of people are asking, well, why are these young, fit people dying from COVID? And you're like, well, their body's inflamed. I mean, the stuff that goes on and how it affects you is so incredible. And now my situation was a little bit different, but you took your healthcare to me to a different type of level. This wasn't just a, hey, come in, let's adjust you and have a good day and pop crackle, see you later. You were more in touch with everything that was going on with my body and my health and whatever else, and you asked me to communicate with you, which is something that you stress on your blogs. And I think that was which was so key, because before I was coming in once a week, now I'm coming in every other week. And my last adjustment was what, 2 weeks ago, and I still feel good. So, but I think it's the encompassing of everything that's going on with me, but taking the healthcare that you provide to another level, because you're looking at what's the root cause of everything that's happened. So, I mean, miraculously, by me changing my diet, I feel better because I'm not bloated anymore. And I feel like I have more life. I feel like I'm living.
Yeah.
As you've stated.
And that's basically it. There is a connection between the food that a person eats and the lifestyle that they lead and how they feel and function in life. And it's really, that's it. I don't know how else to put it. I've written tons of blogs on it, but that's essentially it. It really boils down to paying attention to yourself. The analogy I use, or not analogy, but the term is, are you winning? Is this what you had in mind? When you look at the food that you eat, the things that you're doing, the people you're hanging around, and is this what you had in mind? We had a lady in here the other day, and they eliminated gluten from their diet, and doesn't understand why this, that, and all this other business. And she was, oh no, I've read, and I said, I wouldn't do this to you, but I'll take you and we'll go stand in the mirror and tell me if this is what you had in mind. And sadly, she started it wasn't. So she got the Flame diet book and started, and has been doing much better with her pain. She can at least walk now. Her pain was so bad that walking was brutal. So it really is, when I eat these things, I feel stronger, bigger, better. People look at me, people around me are happier. When I eat this stuff, I feel like crap. Nobody looks at me, I feel bad, and my life is not going correctly. So it's just paying attention, and you're absolutely right.
Well, I think, and so food is a huge part of this, right? So, you try to eliminate a bunch of foods, but then all of a sudden look, I'll admit it, I won't lie about it. I do have a cheat day, okay? But it's amazing how quickly I feel it.
Yeah.
It goes away quicker.
Right.
Because I'm not at that top of the bucket analogy that you like to use, but it's really amazing how the two work together. So it's been a cool little journey. I think being able to chat with you about it, to learn more about it, to talk about it, to implement it, to share the experience with you is kind of what made all of this better. So that's why I kind of felt like this followed along with the blogs that you are currently writing and what you've talked about in the past.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad you're doing well. It's
doing good.
Yeah, it's supposed to work. That's the one thing that I always tell patients. It's like, well, I do this, and this. And it's like, okay, is it working? No. Well, oh, but so-and-so says, and they say, and everybody says, and when I saw it and everything, and it's like, is it working?
Yeah.
When I show you an exercise, it's not supposed to be something you suffer through. When I talk to you about icing or eating correctly or changing your sitting or anything, or even getting an adjustment, all of this stuff is supposed to work. If I send you to a medical doctor for something, whatever they recommend is supposed to work. And so now you're back winning and growing and
Yeah.
expanding, and that's that's basically it. Well, good.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right, so thank you, Ken, and keep reading those blogs. I'll keep writing them, and yeah, it's just you really can do well in life, and to be honest with you, you kind of need to, because you know, there's not many people out there doing well. So the more that are doing well, as dumb as it sounds, the more that are doing well. So good. Keep up the good work.